Hey guys, Sandy here, and today I am up on the Crafty Maven Getaway with Sketch It. Now I am using this August 2019 page map sketch. I'm doing this double page sketch here, but I can already tell you I am mixing it up a little. I have these 5 photos of an SR-71 Blackbird that I'm going to be scrapbooking. And I want these 2 on this side, and I want these 3 on this side, so I'm already flipping it. I also don't have the extra 2 photos here, but I'm going to use this as a jumping off point and as my inspiration. So let's see what I can do. Well guys, first things first, this layout is not one of my more heavily embellished ones. Now, I either go 2 ways when I end up doing a 2-page layout. I either go like super rockin' embellishments all over the place, or I go really minimal. And this time went really minimal. There is no like medium when it comes to a 2-page layout for me. I am an extremist. I just asked my husband, and there we go. So I am using these 2 background papers, and these like maroon colored papers are from Scenic Route. I don't know how you prefer to say it, but they're old, and the gold globe on the top is actually from a travel pad that I purchased at Hobby Lobby on clearance. Now, I didn't measure these bad boys out. I'm just kind of eyeballing them up, and it takes me a second to just make that happen so that they're kind of evenly spaced from the top to the bottom. Now, I don't go measure it. I don't go looking to make sure that it's perfect. It's good enough. So that's the way it is. Now, these photographs are all of an SR-71, and it is my husband's, or one of my husband's favorite aircraft of all time. He is, see, here's the paper pad I'm flipping through. I had only pulled out 1 sheet for my How to Kill a Kit with Style kit, and I needed the second one because I needed the globes to be facing the correct direction. Now you might look at this and be like, Sandy, it's just a bunch of circles, but it does have like, you know, the globe lines on them, and I want them to be like the correct way for globe lines, you know? So anyway, these are SR-71 photos. Like I said, one of my husband's most favorite airplanes ever, and I just wanted to document these photos, even though they aren't like great. They're just little pieces of each part of the aircraft. I have already documented him standing by this aircraft. I've actually scrapbooked the same photo twice. One is so it will go into the trip album. Like, this was a day trip, and it's going to end up being 2 albums because I love scrapbooking airplanes and he loves airplanes, so like the more airplane layouts the better. And then one will just go in our chronological album just so that there's like a nod to that trip in there. Now, I didn't do that before. It's just something I've recently started to do, and the only reason, like, here's a dirty little scrappy secret, you guys. The only reason why I even include a layout in the like chronological album to meet up with like the separate albums outside of the chronological thing where I have like a Disney album or a trip album or something like that is because I needed a filler page in one of my albums one time. I just had this awkward gap, and I couldn't maneuver the pages around so that it wouldn't have an awkward gap with the amount of 2-page spreads and stuff I had going on in there. So I just like decided, okay, we'll have this page in here as a nod to the albums that are outside of the chronological album, and it's just something that is stuck. Now, I like how this has turned out. This ribbon came in my one of my Secret Not Secret Kit Club kits, and it is a blue and white stripe, and I think it is absolutely perfect for any kind of travel-y airplane pictures. Now, I am using my ATG just to lay down some adhesive so I can get that ribbon down and it will be secure. Now, this is where I am using my, it's like the no good washi, not no good washi, like the ugly washi. washi that I will not use on regular layouts. Now, I have used this washi on layouts before. I've used it on Disney pages, but it's just not something that I can see myself really getting into and using a lot of, like repeatedly. So it has made its way to the ugly washi. I'm using a adhesive eraser because my ATG line of tape is thicker than the ribbon, and I am doing it pretty slowly. So this is sped up twice. So imagine how slowly I was laying that ATG tape down. And just in case you forgot my name, I guess my name is on the top of that ATG gun. I had actually taken the gun with me to an event, and it was recommended that you put your name on everything because everyone had the same exact supplies. Like everyone has the ATG, everyone had a pair of scissors, like everyone had a ruler, like everybody had similar things. So I just like used my label maker and dropped Sandy on all my stuff, and some of the stuff I just haven't pulled it out. Like it just hasn't, I haven't been bothered enough to really take my name off of things. So there it is. Now I realized that I had put these photos on in a different order than I originally had them. I wanted to use that sketch enough where there was that title area that came down underneath of the photos. Now, I don't really use it underneath of the photo. I'm pretty much using the photo as part of like my title area. Now I'm trying to figure out like what I'm going to do. I know that the title of this is going to be something like "That's a Pretty Sexy Airplane" or something like that. You might be thinking, Sandy, you have lost your ever-loving mind to say that an airplane is sexy, but it is a sexy airplane. Like, you gotta have someone who loves aircraft, and you gotta buy into their joy, and you just gotta understand it. And some people don't, and that's okay. There are people that love cars. There are people that love trains. There are people that love boats. Like, everybody has a thing that they love, and it's okay. You can love whatever you want, and you can scrapbook about whatever you want. So say you had a love of kitchen mitts. I don't know. That's the most random thing I could think of at this second. Like, it's just coming out of my mouth randomly. If you had a love of kitchen mitts, you could scrapbook kitchen mitts all day long. And you could say that you had a sexy pair of kitchen mitts because maybe it is to you. Like, that's it. It's like, yeah. You'd be like, damn, that's a nice, fine pair of kitchen mitts. Like, whatever it is, like, just do it. So now I am figuring out the cluster up here. I decided to move my cluster from the sketch from the bottom to the top just because I felt like it needed to be up there because I already had this World Traveler kind of cut apart sheet. So I felt like the other decorative area needed to be farther up to the top. So I have pulled out a 4x6, not a 4x6, can't even measure, a 3x4 card, and I just layered up some wood veneer. Now this washi tape I want to say is from Vicky Bouton. I don't know. If it is, can you let me know? If it isn't, let me know that too. But I really liked this washi tape. It's got things like postcard and numbers and a little bit of arrows, and it reads travel-y to me, so I thought it was perfect just to add a little bit of interest to the page because I do know that this page is going to be very lightly embellished. Even though I've got a whole bunch of wood veneer going on, I'm not going to be adding a lot of other stuff. Like, I'm not going to be adding stamps or flair or epoxy or anything like that. I just know that this is going to be a lightly embellished page. So this washi tape that has a whole bunch of fun things on it and like different blocks of color and pattern, it just adds something to the page that I can do without really having to worry about a lot of embellishment. So I'm using my Stays On ink pad, and originally I was going to black out this airplane, but look at that. Apparently my Stays On ink pad is starting to dry out. So I am basically dry brushing my ink pad onto the airplane, and I'm just darkening it up a little bit. So it's not going to be full on dark. You can still see some of the pattern underneath of it, and I'm okay with that. I decided it wasn't a big deal, so I just went with it. And then I got to, gonna have to remind myself that I need to buy another ink pad. Now, I decided that since this page is going to be very minimally embellished, there's not a lot going on. I decided that, you know what, to just add a little bit of interest, I'm going to pop something up. And what else am I going to pop up on a layout about an aircraft but an airplane, right? So I'm using these tiny little foam squares. I love tiny little foam squares. You can get them onto the little spaces, and say you ran out of your big foam squares, guess what? You just put a bunch together and then you got a big foam square. So that always works for me. I do like to have varying heights of foam squares. It's less about how big the size is for me as it is the height of the foam square. So I do have like unfun foam that I use, and my foam squares as well, and they just have varying heights, and that makes me happy because if I'm popping up multiple things, I don't want them all to be the same height on the page. So now I'm just going ahead and getting my wood veneer down, and I'm happy with the way that looks. Now it's time to come over here and create the title, and I am definitely not adding journaling to this layout. Like I said, it is going into a complete album of our trip to the Castle Air Museum. So, like, seriously, guys, like, I was realizing I was putting Castle Air Museum or writing about it on every single layout, and then I was like, this is all going into the same album, so I'm not going to write it all in there. Now, I am not thinking ahead, so say, I don't know, 40, 50 years down the line, the scrapbook is still around. I mean, who knows if it actually will be. But somebody down the line, like, wants one of the photos, one of the layouts, and it doesn't say Castle Air Museum on it, I really don't care. I just don't. I scrapbook for the memories now. So I scrapbook for our family now. I'm not necessarily scrapbooking for our family 50, 60, 70 years from now. Does that make sense? And I know that might seem weird to some people because I know that some people scrapbook so that their legacy is left for, forever, but I scrapbook for us now and in this moment. So anyway, boy, I just started going off all kinds of rabbit trails, guys. Well, this is what happens when there's not a lot going on my layout. It's pretty, basic, easy stuff. Now, I knew I wanted to put something over here because I had that gap, and, that's where you see that little finger movement. You're like, yeah, something's got to go there. Now, I really liked this backpack thing. Like, I thought it fit perfectly, but I just couldn't reconcile the backpack with this particular airplane on the page. So I pull out my chipboard, and I'm like, what can I put on here? And then I decided this global traveler would work okay, and it fits in there pretty okay, and I'm like, yep, that'll work. And then I decided, well, I've got all this kind of excitement going on over on this side where the title is. I've got this plane and this wood veneer over here. I felt like I needed to kind of liven up that world traveler card. So I pulled out the flat stickers with some passports, and I overlapped that chipboard compass on it. Just needed to, what am I doing? Get it down. Okay. Sometimes I'm like, just put the freaking thing down. And then I don't know why in the world I decided to try it out over there because I knew it wasn't going over there. Like, I knew this is the space it was going. But for whatever reason, I felt like I had to try it over there. Now, I thought about bringing in these little word stickers. I really liked Explore, and I thought I would bring something else in over there. And then I couldn't find anything that really would work. So I was like, nope, we're gonna change that. I do go ahead and add a couple little stickers. Yep, there it goes. Doesn't work. I am going to add just a few little things. Nope. The geotag doesn't make it. But I do add one more arrow on the World Traveler sticker, and I think that is going to do it, guys. I think, there is not going to be much more embellishment after I finish messing with the adhesive on that banner, and then I'm going to put a gray arrow over here on the World Traveler sticker or card, and then that is going to do it. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos. I appreciate it so much. Go ahead, leave a comment if you would like to chat, and hit the like button if you liked it. And if you didn't like it, I mean, I guess go ahead and hit that dislike button. I mean, that's what happens, right? Oh, I forgot. I do add a couple little bits of sticker here. So at first I was just going to trim off this cardboard. I know I'm already starting to say goodbye and now I'm starting to talk again. It's just the way it works. Sometimes my mouth starts and it doesn't ever stop. So I'm using my pen blade just to like get off the bulk of that chipboard, and then I just go ahead and use my scissors to cut it off. That way the chipboard doesn't go flying and my page doesn't get ripped or anything like that. So I'm just adding "It is pretty sexy," and then over here underneath of my kind of inked up airplane, I'm just going to add on SR. Now, my original thought was obviously put on SR-71 because that is the aircraft, but hey, those letter stickers don't have numbers. Catch you next time, guys.